Good morning and welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Waddell's Nursery, Floral, Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. And now your host of Nature Watch, he made it just under the gun. It's Gary Miller.
Good morning.
Good morning. A little bit behind today, huh?
Sliding right in. I couldn't get to sleep last night.
Oh.
So then I couldn't wake up this morning.
Well, you imagine how those two go together,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, there you go. Is this what do we have to? We get 2 normal days of weather, just two, today and tomorrow.
Yes, and then we go into the extremely warm
heat wave. Yeah,
heat wave.
Michigan is nuts this year. They are.
Yes, and the corn's starting to get a little bit of height, so we might have a little bit of corn sweat this coming week. I had to laugh. Michigan Storm Chasers posted yesterday their muggy meter again. And this next week, starting in a Monday and then all week long, it's up in the upper category, which is classified as deodorant won't work.
They change those up. Well, wait, hold on. I'm good. Okay, I'm good today.
Looks like we're going to have heat indices maybe up in over 100 a couple of days. It is going to be uncomfortable.
Oh, by the way, I talked to Chandler Boss. Michigan Storm Chasers working on getting their new app out. They are in beta testing right now and hope to have the app out before the first of the month. So cross our fingers
there's lots of people anticipating that and eagerly awaiting that to be released because and they've got lots of people that are following them too. They're a great resource, actually, and it's nice to have another resource with the weather and that. This heat. Not used to it, so we're going to be melting this next week. No, it is the 4th of July, coming up in a week.
Exactly.
And 4th of July typically is very hot, so not unusual.
Yeah. Well, I've worn jackets on the 4th of July.
Well, I have too.
So, it all varies. Again, Michigan is just driving us nuts this year weather-wise.
Yes. Oh, yeah, all year long so far.
Uh-huh.
And so talking about that, actually this next week, on the 2nd of July at noon, we switch from the first half of 2026 to the second half of 2026.
Okay.
Noon is the midpoint of the year. Just saying.
Okay.
And we did have some rain this last week, so I had two nice showers this last week. I had about 1.3 inches, just enough. Yeah. Forecast doesn't look too great, though, with the heat and the energy. We may have some storms pop up. There's actually a chance of that.
And the possibility of those being strong is pretty good right now from what I've seen.
So actually some holidays, these are some weird holidays I happened to see when I was looking. I always look at the holidays, and I had to laugh because this is very appropriate for the weather this coming week.
Okay. On
the 3rd, next Friday, it is Air Conditioning Appreciation Day.
Well, of course.
And then on Saturday, on the 4th.
If you've run yours, that is.
On Saturday on the 4th, and you might be able to try this one out this year, is Sidewalk Egg Frying Day. So with the heat, we might be able to do that. Have the heat build up all week. Those sidewalks might be hot enough to fry your eggs on the 4th of July.
If anybody does that, send us a video. Jim.lawless at WKZO.com. Please do that. Or send it to Nature Watch at Waddells.com.
So, I'd love to see some video of that. That'd be pretty interesting. And or if anybody's got plans to do that, give us a shout today. I did see a coyote this last week. Last Sunday, I was out in the yard and back in one of my fields, there was a coyote. And I first saw it wasn't a full-size coyote. It was about 3/4 size. And size-wise, and when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, it looks like a fox. And I looked closer, and it was not a fox because it wasn't red-colored, didn't have the big bushy tail. So definitely a coyote.
Okay.
And so only the one. So I'm hoping he was just passing through.
Beep, beep.
Probably not.
Beep, beep.
Yeah.
You get where I'm doing. Beep, beep.
We don't have roadrunners here, so they have to catch some other birds. I did see a red-tailed hawk on the way in, sitting on power lines again, and I see this one about every morning when I go by.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that they have a nest somewhere in a tree nearby, and I'm going to guess it's probably one of those trees along XY Avenue that the Road Commission of Kalamazoo County has marked to cut down. Just saying.
Oh, boy.
Okay. We'll see if that may come to fruition. Hopefully not. Hopefully that'll get changed because they have lots of trees that don't need to be cut down.
Right.
So drought monitor, we actually improved slightly last week.
Well, you were talking about you benefited from some rain.
Yeah. So we're now only 3.55% of the states in an abnormally dry condition. Still up in the western end of the Upper Peninsula and along the Michigan-Wisconsin border. Ohio is the only state that is drought condition free.
Oh.
Indiana is almost extreme southern tip, about mid-central state, a part of Indiana, right along the Ohio River. There's looks like a little peninsula that protrudes out into the Ohio River. They're in abnormally dry conditions.
Okay.
0.06% of the state of Indiana, one little spot. But we have folks coming in and mentioning how much rain we've been getting. We have been getting rain. We've been getting just enough. Just drive out in the countryside, and you'll see farmers irrigating. So that means that there's not enough moisture for everything,
right?
Or it's starting to get dry, and we're going to get dry very rapidly because that soil down deep is pretty dry.
Okay.
And so do a rain dance so we get some moisture. Neat. End of the pollinator week. Tomorrow's the end of the day, but today you can come celebrate the pollinator week at Waddell's. We have the pollinator event. And that is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. today. Okay. And we had some folks stop out yesterday. We got a couple of neat pollinator-themed crafts. The Kalamazoo Bee Club is there. You can learn about host plants versus nectar plants. And at 2 o'clock, they're going to release the butterflies. They're all natives. And if you want to take a butterfly home, bring a bug carrier, and you can take one to release in your own backyard.
Do you have bug carriers?
I believe we have bug carriers at the store, too.
There you go.
We have had in the past. I didn't even check the inventory, but I'm pretty sure we probably do.
Okay.
The butterflies that they got in, monarchs, buckeyes, Gulf fritillaries, painted lady, red admiral, the variegated fritillary, and the zebra swallowtail, and the kama. So all those native butterflies, and most of them are in the adult stage. There were some pupa, so they will be hatching out here. They put them in the tent early yesterday. So, and they'll have a little tent canopy inside the store, so they're not too hot or too cold.
Okay.
And you get a chance, you can go in there and actually have a butterfly land on your finger or so. Pretty cool.
Yeah, hang out with them.
So that neat activity. And then if you have a chance when you're there, walk out. It's not too hot out there yet. You enjoy the weather today.
Yeah,
and we got all sorts of
80. Just 80. That's it. It's perfect.
All sorts of information about plants for pollinators, both host and nectar plants. And so we got little signs all over so you can learn about all sorts of different plants. Little fun activity. Maybe think about one you want to put in your yard. And we'll talk about those a little bit more, and I think Andy's going to be talking about some of that too.
Oh, I would imagine so. Tell you what, let's work producer Steve a little bit and get the trivia. 269-382-4280 is our number. Gary will have a question in just mere seconds. You get it right, you win a $20 gift certificate. We're old school around here. And you're looking at Steve like, what?
I was looking to make sure he's ready. Make sure he's ready.
He's always ready. He's thumbs up. There you go. Okay.
So my trivia question today actually involves pollinators.
I kind of figured that was where you were going.
And so I know before I've had the trivia question of what is the best or species of plant that is a host for butterfly and moth larvae, and that is the oak. So all the native oaks. So North American native oak tree species support the most butterfly and moth species, 534 of them.
Okay.
Which is fantastic because all those caterpillars, you think all those caterpillars and all those butterfly and moth larvae would be just stripping all the leaves off the oak trees, but they don't because those caterpillars serve as food for birds.
Yeah, of course.
And so a lot of birds, all those nestlings right now, I think it was reading like a typical chickadee nestling eats somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 caterpillars from the time it hatches out till the time it fledges out of the nest.
Wow.
So if you think about that, we need lots of those caterpillars on those trees so they can feed all those birds.
Yeah, there you go.
So pretty neat. So my question today is...
I was wondering if you're going to get there.
I'm getting there. A little story, a little background. So my question today is, the oak is the native oak is the best species for butterfly moth larvae as far as host plant. What is number 2?
Oh.
And I'm just looking for the plant species group. It's just a group of plants. So we'll see if, and I probably mentioned this in the past, so we'll see how, make people work a little bit this morning.
Yeah.
So hopefully you had some coffee, you're up, invigorated, and ready to go, and you can look at that. So again, North American native oaks are the host the most butterfly moth larvae, 534. What is the number 2 species group of plant?
There you go. 269-382-4280. 4280. Calls are coming in, but I know you have other things to talk about while we wait.
Oh, I got lots of things to talk about. There's lots of couple days here, and Monday is the micro strawberry moon. So the full moon in June is often called the strawberry full moon because typically strawberries are ripe now in the northern hemisphere. And it's a micro moon because it is occurring at the point when the moon's orbit is farthest away from the Earth. And so the micro full moon's angular size is 12.5 to 14.1% smaller than a super full moon, and 5.9 to 6.9% smaller than an average full moon. So the moon's going to look on the smallish side just because it's that a little bit farther away from Earth.
Okay. There you go.
And so we've got more astronomy things coming up this week, too.
Yeah. There's lots to talk about there. And, you might have some clear skies, too.
Yes, we might. So actually some of these clear skies, it'd be good to see some stars in that.
Yeah. Wendy.
In a good way.
Wendy wants to try to win the gift card here. Good morning, Wendy.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
So what's your question, Gary?
So what is the number 2 plant species group as far as supporting the most butterfly moth larvae?
I'm going to guess the prunus.
Oh, it's not a guess. It's like an educated guess. It sounds like you either knew or you looked that up and found it. You are correct. 456.
I'm a big fan of Doug Tallamay.
So the prunus species, 456 species that they support. And the prunus species are the trees like the black cherry, choke cherry, pin cherry, eastern sand cherry, American plum, which is a native tree. Willows support 455, so just one less. Oh. And the birch species, 413 butterfly moth species. Oh. Surprising. I was going to almost ask this, and I thought this might be taking too long for people to find. The shrubs that support the most butterfly moth larvae. Any guess, Jim?
It's shrubs?
Shrubs.
Shrubs?
And so this is going to be a surprise for most people. So the shrub family that supports the most butterfly moth larvae caterpillar are the...
Well, hold on. Wendy, do you want to take a shot at that?
I guess viburnum. I'm not sure.
Oh, actually, so viburnum actually is a good plant. They actually support quite a few butterfly moth, but not the most. The ones that support the most are the Vaccinium species, which is the blueberries and cranberry family. Oh. And you don't think about those as being big host plants, but they are. 294 species that they support.
Wow.
So, what you think of, you think all those caterpillars out there feeding on those blueberry plants when you're out picking blueberries, and you don't see too many of them. So that's a good thing, probably. Probably the birds have cleaned them out for their young.
Yep,
but lots of caterpillars out there. So congratulations, Wendy.
Yeah, you're our big
you.
winner. Yeah, and I'm going to send you back to Steve. He's going to get some information from you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Wendy. Hold on the line there, and we will be back with more Nature Watch in 70 seconds on WKZO.
Have you been hearing the buzz on bees and other pollinators? There is so much we can do to help in their survival. You can start by celebrating pollinators today until 2 o'clock at Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center. See up close live butterflies and chrysalises and step into the screen tent and feed at least 10 different varieties of butterflies. You can make craft projects, and the Kalamazoo Bee Club will also be on hand. A beautiful way to help pollinators is to add to your perennial garden. Get garden phlox, which are especially attractive to hummingbirds and bees, now 20% off. Or try perennial allium to attract butterflies and bees, also 20% off this week. You can also save 20% on insect shelters and houses, hummingbird and oriole nectars, and much more. Come join all the fun and bring the kids for today's celebration of pollinators, including the release of the butterflies from their tent at 2 o'clock at Waddell's Nursery Florist and Garden Center, located on Texas Drive at the corner of Millam and 12th Street.
I like local news because I like to be involved in my community.
More Kalamazoo area news online than ever before at WKZO.com.
So, in case you missed it a few minutes ago when Gary was talking about the big pollinator event, you just heard about it.
Yes.
Again,
yes. So that's the latest buzz from Waddell's.
Okay. All right.
Got to throw a joke in there once in a while.
Oh, okay.
So actually, I mentioned a couple of astronomy events coming up this next week. Oh, actually, I should say mention Wendy had mentioned the viburnum species. 103 species of butterfly moth that viburnum support.
Oh, okay.
So, but there are some shrubs that support more. But that's still a lot of butterfly moth larvae that those plants support, and they actually support birds in other ways too, because a lot of the viburnums have berries and fruit that the birds will eat, and they also provide habitat for them to nest in. So viburnum is actually a fantastic plant to have for your yard for all the way around.
There you go.
So astronomy events coming up this next week. On the 30th of June, we have National Meteor Watch Day, and it's also International Asteroid Day.
National Meteor Day?
National Meteor Watch Day. And
we've been celebrating that off and on. It seems like all season long. I mean, Michigan Storm Chasers has posted up quite a few meteor sightings over the last couple of months.
Interestingly, every day the Earth is hit by about 17 meteors that are large enough to reach the surface of the planet. Think about it, 17 of them. International Space Station has shielding that can protect it from meteors up to an inch wide. So if they're bigger than an inch, they're going to have some difficulties.
Oh, okay.
And a meteor that reaches the ground is called a meteorite. Most of them, meteorites, are made from 3 different materials: iron, stone, or stony iron.
Okay. Okay.
So it's always interesting, and the tail of the meteor is always pointed away from the sun. So it's interesting to,
away from the sun.
Away from the sun. And I think it's part of the way the Earth is rotating in that, because they coming through the atmosphere, they tend to be burning up, and that's that tail. Meteor's tail can last as little as only a few seconds or as long as 30 minutes. So sometimes we've had some of those meteors that stay in the sky for a long time, and lots of folks can see it. The average meteor shower will produce about 20 meteors per hour on average. And so, that's when we have the meteor showers. And we have the Perseids coming up in August here. So usually the peak's about around the 9th or 10th of August. And those are always fun to watch, because they have, in the peak nights, they have 100 plus if you're in a very dark sky area. A lot of them are faint, but you can see lots of them. And it's actually fun to hopefully we got a cool enough night that the mosquitoes aren't buzzing around. You can lay on a blanket out on the ground so you don't strain your neck, and you can either that or get a comfortable chair that you can lean back and look at the sky and get a really dark sky, and you don't have to worry about mosquitoes buzzing in your ears. It's actually fun to watch them.
And if you fall asleep, you fall asleep.
Yeah, and you don't worry about it because it's cool enough for the mosquitoes not to bother you.
I thought about that, just taking a nap outside.
So, and then asteroids, a little bit of asteroid. Asteroids can range in size from the size of a pebble to hundreds of miles in diameter. They're small enough that they don't have an atmosphere, but they can have smaller particles orbiting them, like little moons. And so when a meteor is bigger than 3 or 10 meters in diameter, so about 33 feet or so, then it's automatically classified as an asteroid. But they can be smaller than that and also be classified as an asteroid. And interesting enough, if you're out gazing at the sky and you happen to see the asteroid belt, there's an asteroid belt that sometimes you can catch at night sky, or if you have a telescope out. The asteroid belt has anywhere from 1.1 to 1.9 million asteroids larger than a half mile.
Wow.
That's what I said when I read that. I was like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of asteroids out there. So, get a chance and get clear sky, go out and maybe you'll see a meteor coming down, and or get your telescope out. Maybe you can see some asteroids here and there. Coming up in July is National Bison Month, so celebrate the American bison. And July is also Plastic-Free July, so try to reduce the use of plastics. 11% of household waste is plastic. 40% of that plastic household waste comes from bottles. So if you can recycle those, fantastic. Mm-hmm. It takes about 25 recycled plastic bottles that can be used to make a fleece jacket, because that same type of plastic can be turned into polyester. And so they can make a recycled plastic jacket.
Isn't that cool?
So a good way to do that. The average adult, this is average adult, receives 300 plastic bags a year. Almost a bag a day. So all those plastic bags that are out there, we can recycle those too, fantastic. And recycling a ton of plastic saves 1.5 tons of carbon from entering the atmosphere in all the processing. So it does take some energy to process that plastic and recycle it, but it's still a lot less than newer virgin plastic. July 3rd, next Friday, is International Plastic Bag Free Day. So try to avoid using that. Use a bag that you can recycle and reuse multiple times. Canvas bags work great. A lot of stores have provided those reusable bags.
And of course, if you go to Harding's Buy or whatever, and you get a paper bag, you can recycle that too.
Yeah, and paper bags are fantastic to use because you can store your if you're still getting newspaper or any newsprint or recycled paper, they work great for storing that. When you put it out in your recycling bin, you get something to put it in instead of just loose.
And of course, you all knew that anyway. If you want to join us here on the show, 269-382-4280, we have a few moments left here. If you want to talk anything nature, or you can text us at 80373.
So coming up next Saturday on the 4th of July, the Kalamazoo Nature Center has a free admission day. So the trails are going to be open. However, the visitor center will not be open. So if you want to go out and hike around on the 4th, early in the 4th, and go out and visit, the Kalamazoo Audubon Society of Kalamazoo has their beginning bird walk out at the Wolf Lake Fish Hatchery next Saturday morning. And it looks like that's still on the schedule, even though it's the 4th. So that's always fun to go out if you got some young or older wannabe birders or experienced birders, and they will usually have some binoculars available and very experienced birders to help lead you around there. The Wolf Lake Fish Hatchery is fantastic to look and see all sorts of different birds with the water, and then they've got other vegetation around there. But also, there's lots of wildflowers out there, and so you actually might see some pollinators out there, some butterfly, moth, bees. So it might be a fun day to go out and hike.
Look how that tied right in. My goodness.
So it's actually a fun area to hike, and there's a big assortment of wildflowers. Years ago, I actually challenged when my son was involved in Cub Scouts. We went out and visited the Wolf Lake Fish Hatchery, and it was about the end of July, first part of August. And I challenged the Cub Scouts to find a wildflower that I didn't know. It was fun.
Did it work?
They found one that I wasn't 100% sure of. I had to look in the book. So I will admit, I went out and pre-hiked it the week before.
Okay.
But I also I didn't have to look up anything. I didn't see the one that they found. They actually found a white clover that I wasn't quite sure if it was a white clover or not, but it was.
Okay. There you go. Jeff joins us this morning on WKZO. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. You too, Jim. How you doing?
I'm upright and vertical right now. So.
I got an off-the-wall question for you. Growing up, we had catalpa trees in our yard, and we used to get the worms from them and go fishing.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I don't see those worms anymore. Any thoughts on that? I'll hang up and I'll listen. Thank you.
He's treating us like a sports call-in show.
Well, at least So at least he identified himself. Unlike our caller here several weeks ago that was asking about the hummingbirds and other songbirds being upset because the hummingbirds didn't know the words. So actually, So a lot of the butterfly moth larvae, our population is way down, and there's not as many catalpa trees anymore. The caterpillars are still around. We just have to hunt for them a little more. I know there were several folks, including where the Weddell's facility is located now. The people that owned that property originally had a lot of catalpa trees there, and they used to sell worms for people to fish with.
Oh.
The catalpa worms. And so that was interesting, but there's not near as many catalpa trees. And but those worms are actually sort of a green-yellow color. They're actually a pretty interesting looking worm. So you have to search a little more. But they are... I know folks usually have really good luck with using those to fish with. So.
Hey, thanks for the call, Jeff. We appreciate it. 269-382-4280. A couple minutes left here.
And the so it's important to make sure we've got habitat and host plants for all those different pollinators. Butterfly, moth. So catalpa trees. There's not as many catalpa trees, but there's a lot of other trees too that trees have been taken out. Shrubs here and there, and it's good to make sure that you have those plants out there for them. Actually, coming up this next week, Eagle, our wonderful Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, actually had a couple of press releases. The next week is Aquatic Invasive Species Awareness Week. So they actually have some pointers as far as making sure that you have your watercraft cleaned, dried, and before you take it from one body of water to another, so you're not spreading any of those invasives around.
Aha!
And talking about invasives, we had a new invasive announcement this last week, the elm zigzag sawfly.
The what?
So sawflies are typically have larvae that feed on leaves of all sorts of plants. And I think a couple of years ago, I was talking about the dogwood sawfly, because they were on my plant and they look really weird, quite a weird looking caterpillar at the one stage. The elm zigzag sawfly larvae actually eat in from the edges of the leaves, and they do a zigzag pattern. You're going to have to really search for it. You can see the zigzag before you're going to see the caterpillar, because the caterpillar is only 10 to 11 millimeters, which is about a centimeter, about 3/8 of an inch. Not very big. Okay. And the adult is even smaller at 7 to 9 millimeters. And the adult looks almost like a little small wasp bee, and it's that sawfly. We don't have as many elm trees anymore, so you're not going to have as many sawfly. But this is an invasive from Asia, and they actually discovered it through confirmed it through the Michigan Invasive Species Network. There was an arborist over in the east side of the state in St. Clair County that saw these larvae and thought for sure that they were not something native and invasive, and made a report, and they went out and investigated, and lo and behold, it was the elm zigzag sawfly. They have been in the U.S. since 2021 in Virginia.
Oh.
Canada has had them since 2020. So they're just relatively new, and they're spreading. And unfortunately, the sawfly is very capable of flying distances, so they're very aggressively watching this to see if they can maybe contain it so it doesn't spread. Well, hopefully they can accomplish that. And so the other thing is actually World Sand Dune Day is coming up, and Eagle actually had something about that too. So that is today, World Sand Dune Day.
Oh, well, go hit the lakeshore.
And interestingly enough, so you're at the lakeshore and you're out sunning yourself, you want to share some facts with your neighbors there. Michigan is home to hundreds of thousands of acres of sand dunes. They are the largest freshwater sand dune system in the world. So you can enjoy something that most other people don't have a chance to get to.
Wow. How about that?
You know,
and it's right here in our own backyard.
Yeah, not too far away.
That's
so
right.
Get out and enjoy the weather, especially these next couple of days, because after that you're going to be probably watching the corn sweat in the air. And actually I noticed this morning already the humidity in the air is starting to get that hazy look. So
okay, yeah.
It's coming.
Thank
it's
you.
Summer.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate that.
Just a messenger. Can't shoot the messenger.
So if you have a chance, buzz over to Waddell's this morning. Yeah, my turn.
Yes.
Pollinator event going on. Gary has his work shirt on, so you know he will
I will be there, yes.
There you go. Thank you, Gary, and thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday morning at 8:30 for Nature Watch. Brought to you by Waddell's Nursery, Floral, Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. National and local news on the way, and then Andy Waddell sits in Gary's chair for another edition of Over the Garden Fence right here on 590 and 106.9 FM WKZO.